look at this amazing view that we get across the city here, with the crowning achievement on it is St James's Park, of course. Just a beautiful skyline there. You've got everything. You've got the Hadrian Tower, the Millennium Bridge. Now, I'm in Byker, and this a long time ago, this was a street called Stanley Street, and a lot of people don't know. It's a very little known thing is that this was the origin of the very first place where the team that would go on to become Newcastle United first played. Stanley Street FC, Stanley FC they were called. Now, the first played here in 1881. They were formed from the gentlemen of a cricket club who wanted to do something in the winter months, and they wanted to play a few kick-about games of football, and they played here for about a year in 1881 before moving to a couple of more grounds around Byker, and then in 1882 they moved up towards Chillingham Road and played at Heath Junction, where they built a big wooden stand, and then it started getting big crowds, and that was Newcastle East End. They changed their name very early on. Originally they were called Stanley FC. They had to change their name because of all the confusion with the Stanley and Durham, so they changed it to Newcastle East End, and Newcastle East End became the first professional football club in Newcastle. So they started getting big crowds, several thousand for each game. They started competing quite high up the Northern League, they turned professional. And what happened with Newcastle East End is that their great rivals, Newcastle West End, they tried to copy them. They tried to become professional and issue shares, and it didn't work out for them. It backfired. They couldn't pay their rent at St James's Park there, and so Newcastle East End took over that rent, brought in some of their players and their backroom staff, and then changed the name of the club in 1892 to Newcastle United. So that's the story of the club. But like I say, this is the very origin, this is the very start of it, and not many people know that they first played their first games at Stanley Street in the field just down there, just next to the social club at the bottom of this bank. And 1881, they were formed from a cricket club, a bit like Newcastle West End were, and that was when you first start seeing recreational sport for the first time in this part of the world. So it's a great piece of history, this, and it's really forgotten about, and I think it should be treasured a lot more.